Hi, everybody. It has been an interesting day, to say the least. I was trying to figure out a way to have this discussion with everybody, so I'm going to try to say hey to everybody before we get started. Kimberly, welcome to the chat. Peggy P, nice to see you. We have Jamie Palmer in the house, Children of Scientology. Me and Taz. Joni, it's nice to see you. I loved your live. Okay, Marilyn Honig in the house. We all love the mom. Okay, Rebecca McGuire, Rhonda, the amazing retired red. Your mom Oshi, Jen Nelson. I feel like I'm going down the list and still haven't. Let's see, Linda, Rebecca, and Kiwi Girl. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you. So originally, my plan for this morning was I wanted to talk about uh, the time that I spent in mental health and why it's so important to me. I will come with a trigger label. I will come with a warning. Hey, this might be a little hard for a lot of people, but it's all about honesty for me and admitting to what I was like when I had to make the decision, or where I was, I should say. For me, I was 41 years old, and I started having lapses of judgment where I would think someone was trying to hurt me or hurt my family. And it went from that to getting a little slowly, progressively worse and worse and worse to I kept chasing the answers to why I felt horrible in the bottom of a vodka bottle or a tequila bottle, whatever was handy at the time. And can everybody hear me? I forgot to ask that. A lot of things today got unplugged. So hopefully everybody can hear me and I haven't been talking to myself for 2 minutes. We'll find out. Yes and yes. Okay, good. So in the process of it continued to get worse where I felt like Carrie didn't love me anymore. I had my mom screaming Carrie didn't love me anymore, but I was madly in love with her, but I couldn't understand why she didn't see things the way that my head was seeing things. And it got to a point where I didn't think I could understand what anybody else was talking about. Any other conversations meant nothing. It sounded like jargon and it sounded like they were agreeing with me, and it just progressively got worse, where I thought everybody was on my side. Everybody has my back. And I go to talk to Carrie about it, and then it turns into something it shouldn't have. And from there, I searched for a bridge to jump off of. So I had gone to Folsom and I went to Rainbow Bridge and I started counting the cars. Now, I don't mean like counting like, ooh, 1 Toyota, 2 Toyota, 3 Toyota. I mean doing how many seconds between intervals between each railing. So I can, mathematically calculate how fast each person was going and how fast it would take for them to get to me. I wanted it to be correct. I wanted it to be right. I continued getting worse. I reached out to a friend. I thought my friend was going to be there on the other line and pretty much told me, so sad, no, too bad, so sad is how it felt. Like catch up with you another time. And I'm sitting there telling her that, hey, I'm at Rainbow Bridge. And then, and so then it turned, it basically turned into this whole situation where I went from not understanding everything to really not understanding to then thinking everything that I'm thinking is right and everything that other people are thinking is totally wrong. And I'm not proud of that. But it just got to be a point where I was completely miserable in my own head and now wanted to die. Like death seemed like a really good option. My religion that I believed in was garbage. Things that I thought were happening in the real world weren't happening Uh, and so basically it turned into me then reaching out to Carrie for help, because in reaching out to Carrie for help, I knew that I wanted to die, and I wanted to die loving her. And I did the most hateful, malicious, vile thing a person can do. I decided I was going to get drunk with the woman that I loved, and I was going to drink the entire bottle so that I would die, die in my sleep, because it was a ridiculous amount of alcohol. I'm not proud of that. It embarrasses me now. It embarrasses me that I put a hole in the wall. It embarrasses me that I put my family through that. But because of that, I went into a mental health care facility in Santa Rosa. And Santa Rosa, the first day, I'm going to be honest, it was terrifying. You know, I didn't think I was going to be able to tough out the whole day. I was terrified. And then I met my psychiatrist, and he's like, your first day, you're not going to really want to talk to me. You're not really going to want to do much. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, not a big deal. How long do I got to be here? 72 hours. Okay, we're good. I can sleep anywhere for 72 hours as long as I have a bathroom. Um, Turn around, and I look at the beds, and this horrible wood bed, and it's like this horrible bathroom that's got this like little curtain, and they have to come and inspect you doing anything in the bathroom or the shower. Um, and it became this weird awkwardness. But I realized by day 2 why he was saying day 1 was a bad day, because by day 2 they start giving you little bits of information to be able to practice so that you could get yourself better. Like, they're basically installing those little cookies of, if you use these tools, you're going to get better, you're going to feel better. And nobody's giving you the cure. We're giving you the tools to save yourself. I wanted to save myself. I wanted to save myself so bad because I wanted my family. And I knew that if I kept on this path, I was going to lose my family. I was going to lose everything that I've ever wanted. And so it literally became a fight in there with my head and the medications. And then by day 3, guess what, everybody? I am told that I am being over medicated. And I've been over medicated for the last year. And so it turns out they like to judge it in a scale of how many medications you're supposed to be on. And I was only supposed to be on 2 to 3, and I was on 15. So I had gotten very, very badly over medicated between my doctor and my psychiatrist. Don't worry, everybody, I don't have those doctors or psychiatrists anymore. But in the process of it, I got put on the correct medication. I then was able to start seeing things a lot clearly. Um, it it was, little things. Like, there was a day that we were going out to the yard, and for the first time, I actually wanted to play basketball. Like, I didn't think the world was ending. I literally just wanted to shoot some hoops. The food in there, I will tell you, to be completely honest, the Sea Org food is better. I will tell you that with a full flatline notice in my voice, it is better. There were a lot of Sea Org foods that were a lot better than what we had, but you know what? You tough it out. If I can swallow rice and beans, then I can swallow just about everything. Um, the next day became more knowledge. I want you to look at this. I want you to look at that. How are you feeling today? And then little steps along the way, the RNs would talk to me. The MAs would, do my check on me. The first 2 days was really bad for me because I was on so many medications. They thought I was going to die coming off of them, so they had to take my blood pressure every 2 hours. Yeah, it sucked. that first 2 nights I did not sleep. Um, well, I got a lot of broken sleep, everybody. And I had a horrible experience and an amazing experience on at the same time. Because even Carrie can tell you that I had worked so hard when I was leaving. So when I was leaving the facility after the 10 days that I was there, the nurses that had helped me, the actual registered nurses that were in charge, all came out and gave me a hug goodbye. You know, some of the MAs came out and said bye, but it was I had worked my ass off to get out and earn respect and not treat people poorly. And so for that, it was like a send-off party, and so it was kind of nice. Um, I've recently come into an experience where I sit here and I tell everybody call 988. And, I'm going to be completely honest. Today, I called 988 for assistance and I was completely disappointed. I needed to reach out for assistance, not for me, but for someone that I love. And so for that, I am going to come on here and say, you know what? I don't recommend 988 anymore, but I do wholeheartedly think that we can start trusting the police system and now because they were the only ones that even cared. But 988 was a joke. It was like you know, a teen hotline or a suicide hotline from back in the day, like teenagers that didn't know what they were talking about. So that got to me a lot today. Sorry, I'm fidgety, everybody. Let me grab some of these starred comments before I forget. If you guys have questions, throw them in there. Let's see. Rebecca McGuire, 6 years drink free. So beyond relatable tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's amazing to relate to people and just by being honest. Real people have real lives. Real people happen to have breakdowns. Real people have imbalances in their hormones in their brains. And you know what? Some of us grew up in a cult and didn't want to say that that's what really happened. And once we did, we kind of went. But yes, Rebecca. Oh, let's see, Rebecca McGuire. The paranoid thing, the delusional state that your mind was your own living hell. Yes, it was. It absolutely was. And it got worse daily. Okay. Man, Taz, you're here now and we're all here for you, Liz. Thank you so very much because you know what? I was a different person back then. Um, and sometimes that's not hard. That's hard for me to accept because in the moment it felt like me, but now looking back, I'm like, no, I was not doing good. No, sir, I did not. No, don't you know I was doing really bad. Oh, she's on. I've been in a similar situation. It was scary checking myself into inpatient treatment. I did too. Well, first was involuntary, and the involuntary turned into a 10-day hold, which I'm extremely grateful for because you're doing the work, you take what you need, you hopefully will never have to go back there again. But I also, after I did my inpatient, I did a full term of outpatient. So that way it wasn't just, my 7-day hold. It was technically, I want to say like 3 months of outpatient, if I'm right. Carrie, I don't know if Carrie's in the chat, but she can definitely let you know. But I believe it was like 3 months of outpatient. Okay, Rebecca McGuire. Thank you, Carrie, for not enabling and loving Liz when she needed it. When she needed it. People like you are 1 in a million. Yeah, she's definitely 1 in a million. Okay. Kiwi girl. How did they get that so wrong? If you're talking about my friends when I was having that conversation, which I think that's about that time I was talking about it. I don't know. and it ended a friendship. It ended a friendship with people that I'd been friends with since I was 16 years old. But that day ended a friendship. Okay, Cindy Whitmere. Oh, Liz, sorry you had to endure this, but it's a life lesson and they're usually painful. You're so great and it sound is coming together for you. I'm so glad you shared this. Absolutely, because I said I would. And I'm really, as you guys know, I'm really big on keeping to my word. Rebecca McGuire, may I ask, could you have untreated mental health issues before because the cult doesn't believe in medical treatment for it? Could this mean more? That's kind of tricky. Realistically, could I have had other mental illnesses? Yeah, I tried to jump off a building. I thought that would be my best way out of the C word. It was just undefined, but we also grew up in a space that said, don't go to therapy, don't go to psychiatrists. Whatever you did, you pulled in. And after a while, just so you know, you really start to believe that. And so I've only been seeing, like really focusing and really doing deprogramming for about a year and a half. Because, I had to be in the inpatient, then outpatient, then the work. Yeah. It's like real where I have a connection with my therapist. Jen Nelson, thank you for your openness. You are a treasure. Absolutely. It is honestly my pleasure. Because that, again, if you're not honest, then you don't. It's funny. My Nana used to say, you can't be buried with your money. You can't be buried with the successes that you've had. The only thing that you could be buried with is your word. Either you have it or you don't. Okay. Sarah, I've heard 988 varies wildly from place to place, depending on funding and availability of the trained professionals. I hate that it's not something that can be counted on to be reliable. I hate that too, because you know how many times I've sat there and said 988, 988, 988, and the idea if someone calls them that they're not getting the help they need, if they're going to say that this is a place to get the help you need, make it be the place that people get the help they need, not shooing them around. And are you sure you're not the one that is having some issues? Yeah. Tony Cummings, Liz Ferris, I'm glad you're willing to talk about these issues. I've been wanting to hurt myself at one time, and I'm looking forward to a new therapist myself. I will tell you, I've done that, and it's so much better to find a therapist that you connect with and that connects with you, that doesn't belittle or put you down, but has a connection to help getting you better. And you know what? I hope you get better, just as I'm sure you hope that I get better. I'm going to be in therapy for quite a long time. Unfortunately, I didn't have the best childhood. All right, Rebecca McGuire. I'm actually coloring with my gel pens to cope tonight and listening to Liz. This is something that helps. Good. I am glad it helps. Trust me, this is why I do this. This is why, people want to say that we're not human, or we're in front of a camera, we're in front of a TV, we're celebrities now. I'm literally Liz. Oops, let's do it this way. Nice to meet you. I grew up in a cult. I believed in it for a very long time, but I am still human. I am just like each and every one of you. I bleed the same color. Okay. Martha Simmons, sorry about that, Liz. Have you checked out ex-Scientology Jamie Mustard's work on biological trauma and treatment? I have an amazing therapist and psychiatrist now, and we're doing some amazing things. Check out his recent interview with Andrew Gold. Always will. Promising. Love you, girl. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Okay, Rebecca McGuire. Sorry if that was way too personal. I heard others say you weren't allowed to see a mental health professional in Scientology. You weren't. you weren't sin of sins. Like a psychiatrist is bad. They're just throwing pills at you. They want you to die. They want to take over the world. Like what time is yeah. Like good God. Seriously? Big pharma not trying to take over the world. They're just trying to take all the world's money. It's Scientology, but with medication. Okay. Margaret, sorry you had to go through all of this, but you've obviously come out strong. Hopefully, sharing your story will help others. Thank you for your honesty and for being an inspiration. Well, thank you so very much. Thank you so very, very much. Children of Scientology, trying to survive or leave the Sea Org as a kid, you can really become hopeless. You're told you're worthless and sometimes believe it. It's easy to want to check out, and it was never true. It was never your fault. Yeah, because that was a big one, everybody. They always like to say that whatever happened to you, it was always your fault. Yeah. That was a big thing for them. Let me grab that one. Kiwi girl, therapy saved me. And I did too. I did not have the best childhood either. Not in a cult, just abusive. But I see so many similarities. Yeah, and that's the hard part, everybody. Because you know what? Someone wants to say if someone wants to say they had a bad childhood because they grew up in a cult, I don't need everybody's equal here. We're all on the trauma. I like to call it the trauma train. Um, but it's hard, when people say that they had a really good experience for me. And I know people did. Some people really did. But I also had that abuse side of it. So it was like I felt like I was getting a double whammy. Like, and it's definitely one of those situations where you're really screaming, no whammy, no whammy. Um, but yes, I do want people to understand it. It wasn't that easy. I felt like I was in a dark hole. And then as I went through outpatient, the dark hole got a little brighter and a little brighter and then a little brighter. And then I told a joke. And that was one thing I couldn't do. I couldn't tell jokes. I like to tell jokes all the time. Someone looks like they're sad. I want to tell them a joke. Um, I want to see everybody smile. Um, but in that moment, I couldn't do anything. But now I'm exposing what truly happened in the idea of a safe environment. It's we were all so scared to seek assistance for our trauma that it began to build up until it exploded. I know I'm personally one that had it explode. So for me, I just want to get better, and I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to keep journaling. I'm going to keep on keeping on so that everybody knows. I'm going to keep checking in with my therapist so that she knows where I stand, so that way I don't ever end up back in that space, because that space is not me. That space doesn't tell jokes. That space was miserable. So still have a few more tagged. Sorry, everybody, if it was one of those emotional ones. I just wanted to clear some things up when it comes to that. I'm not a superhuman. When I tell you that my name is Liz, my name is Liz. When I tell you my mom and dad's name, that's my mom and dad's name. You know, when I tell you about Stan, or when we tell you about the sitters at Celebrity Center, or the shit that we went through working for Celebrity Center, I promise we're still human though. We just have a little bit of pieces to put together, and we have a little bit of work to do. But, and, unfortunately, have a little bit of family we have to rebuild. All right. Susan P., I am so sorry you went through this. It's been a bad emotional day for me. Then I see you. You're the strongest person I have ever seen, because because of you, hold on. Because of you, I too can be strong. Love you, Liz. Thank you so very much. And finding strength even within what I'm saying, that's amazing. That's amazing. If someone would have helped me find strength before, then it's easier for me to tag. It's easier for me to be like, tag, okay, there's that pinpoint. Um, but reading all the self-help books has helped me tremendously. Um, yeah, LRH was full of cockadoodoo because psychiatry helps more than anyone knows. It literally does. Jane, Liz, hi, sweets. I'm late, but I needed to be here. You're never late. You're never late. I promise. As long as you're here, you're never late. I think I just accidentally got rid of one of Joni's. Okay. Children of Scientology. The person mentioned earlier, James Mustard, is a second gen from Pat Cadet Org. Before your time. Danny Mustard's brother. He's been speaking out recently and wrote a book about resilience. Oh, now I want to read it. Now I have to read it. Okay. Ann Walsh. That is why I keep coming back and listening to you. You remind me to take time to listen to people and to be more compassionate. And you know what? I am so grateful for that. But also take time for you. That is one that I had a hard time with recently is take time for you and do whatever you need to do. Just absolutely take in time. But it's also one of those things that it's like we're all doing the best that we can. I don't want someone to think that I'm a superhero, and I don't want someone to think that I really didn't go to a mental ward. I still have all the stickers on my toothbrushes. But I also want people to know if that does happen, it's okay. It's literally not the end of the world. It's not the beginning. But if you give it a chance, it can be the beginning of a whole new you. And I gave it a chance. Okay. All right. I think I double tapped the wrong one. PTS for live jumping in. Never late. Never late. It's my rule. It's never late as long as you're here. Leaving Scientology. Lou. Oh, it was great. Oh no, Nora last night. She was a whiz at movie trivia. Yes, she is. She's definitely got some. The funniest part was trying to hold herself back from answering the question immediately. Okay, Children of Scientology. Meanwhile, I hope that you are I hope you know you are one of the most resilient and loving and valuable people I know. Thank you. Well, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate it. I will also say that I have learned a lesson today about myself. If you guys knew me before I woke up, I was not a good person. I never stood up, like, I stood up for people that were bullies, but at the same time, I really think that I partially was one. Like, I treated people poorly. Like I was almost higher than thou. And then I wasn't an honest, good-hearted person. I literally was the complete opposite. And when I found the real me, waking up, going back to my roots, doing the volunteer as often as I possibly can, Christmas to the kids at the hospital, whatever you have to do. It made me realize the person that I wanted to be and that I didn't want to make my Nana less proud of me. I wanted to be able to look at myself and be proud. And so the one thing that I have learned in a lot of this, everybody, is I'm proud that I'm finally standing up and saying, it's okay. Scientology is not a religion. If you want to leave, you can leave. Any OSA that's watching, hi. Tell my dad I'll see him soon. but realistically, we are all human. We all bleed the same color. That's why my chat will always be one of those sections where it's don't bully. Don't bully, love one another. Remember, we're all human, we all bleed the same color. Um, I'm gonna definitely grab a couple of these questions. I know they're flying by a little fast for me. I don't have my love in the background. I have Red, and she is being the oh so amazing Red. But I hope that helps understand what made me want to be me. I wanted to be proud of myself. And you're right, I did want to be the person that I would have been proud to have as a parent for the little Liz that's still stuck inside, living in a little bit of the hard stuff that she went through. But I'm also feeling better and better every time I talk to my therapist, every time I talk to my psychiatrist, and every time I talk to you guys and expose what seems to be going on. You know, we have goods, we have bads, we have ups, we have downs. So let me grab some of these questions real quick. All right. Jane, Liz, you keep me positive. I'm not going to hurt myself. I come see you, and wait a minute. I come see you, and I make you feel better. Thank you, Carrie. Your girl is amazing. She helped me by just caring. Both are lucky to have each other. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. And don't worry, everybody. I'm going to be making the vision appointment. I know it's still fresh in everybody's mind. Martha Simmons, Liz, Jamie Mustard book is called The Invisible Machine and is also on Audible. Retired Red got it last night. Oh, Red, you got it last night? You're gonna have to tell me how it is. I'm still reading a few other ones. Care for JC. Okay, COS teaches selfishness, and the real you was just waiting to bloom out from under that. And I kind of want to get that tattooed. You're absolutely right, because the people that we were when we were inside is not the people that we are on the outside. I was very vile, and I can admit that I was vile. I could admit that I had some horrible things happen to me that, happened. Can't change that it happened. All we can do is be better forward. All we can do is treat someone differently forward. But yeah, I've definitely bloomed into the person that I hope that Carrie would be proud to grow old in a rocking chair with. Because the person she's grown into, I am proud to grow old with. Okay. April Collins, you are so amazing, Liz. Thank you so very much. And so are you. You are absolutely amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you for any questions that you may have. Let me run through this real quick because I don't want to forget anybody, because I have a tendency of doing that. Like I just skipped. Okay, did I get this one? And most this is why I keep coming back and listening to you. You remind me to make time to listen to people and be more compassionate. We all need to be a little bit more compassionate, I promise. But thank you so very much for that. In case I didn't read it earlier, if it's blowing my mind or something. It's been a little bit of a rocky day. That's all we're going to say. It's a little bit of a rocky day. So I didn't see any additional questions. I hope that answers when I was in the mental health facility. But I will honestly say that if anyone ever feels like that, or you even think along those lines, it's okay to, screw it, call 911. Let them know what's going on and let them know that you need assistance. Because at this point in time, whatever you can do to stay safe, I would absolutely rather listen to 1,000 people crying than listen to one eulogy. So please, please remember to be safe, be aware of yourself, think of your friends, think of your family. But above all else, when you are thinking of your friends and family, remember boundaries. My boundary is my friends and my family and my kids. Those are my boundaries. So thank you so very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please, I forgot to say it, but please smash that like button, hit subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you have a great rest of your night. Oh, wise words, Liz. Sorry, forgot to say hi earlier because it is the power that lies to paralyze. Freeze the New Project. Yes, you did. Oops, you did come in at the end. Joni, I love you, and I think you're. If anybody hasn't typed in Joni Cummings, please go see one of her lives. It was just so nice to listen to women being real. It was very nice. Okay, so smash the like, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to tip your waiter or waitress. Be kind to everybody in the chats because remember, we are all human. We all bleed the same color. And other than that, I want to say thank you so very much for being here. I will probably see you tomorrow. Actually, I will most likely see you tomorrow. And we'll have some more funny stuff to do. And then we'll finally have to lay down a time that works for the Oh No Amazing Nora and our sex positive talk that I think we got talked into doing. So stay tuned. Thank you so much. If you need me, please reach out. If you need a friend, please definitely reach out. I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you have a great rest of your night.